1 2 1 2. Here we are then, guys, coming out of the final chicane here, getting ready to go for Tier 1 tonight. We've unfortunately not got Jazzman with us. He disconnected in between qualifying and the race, and the server's been set up so that you can't join mid-race. I don't actually know why I changed that, but I must have done it by accident, which is really, really annoying. But anyway, we're underway, and it's Tyler who seems to have been jumped by G-Sanks. G-Sanks on his debut here on a Sunday night. Is he going to go around the outside here of turn 1? This is a great move there from G-Sanks, and he has gone around the outside of Tyler. The reigning champion being passed here by the newcomer as we go side by side into turn 2. G-Sanks down the inside. He has that manoeuvre completed, and then he's returned to the track after a couple of weeks away with an ankle injury, I think it was. He's managed to get himself into P1 here at the start. So what an inception here from this man as we see him go wide there. Oh no, he's still gone wide out of turn 4, and he's ruined it. And Titus now leads the race as we come down the straight for the first time. Kev's in there in second ahead of Robo. And G-Sank says lost a couple of places here. He's down to P6 after that one, so unfortunate there. P5 actually, because Glenn's showing up at the top of the leaderboard. So it's Tinus from Kevsim from Robe, Ludo ahead of G-Sanks, completing the top 5. Then you've got Carl Marley in 6th. We've got a load of cars packed into a short space here. What is happening? It looks like there might have been a bit of contact there, but G-Sanks there, oh, sorry, Lol 3000 even staying ahead of Snoopy as they come out of the second chicane, but bit of a chaos at the moment as Snoopy there going around the outside of Lol 3000, gets himself up into 12th place. Nice move there from him. But Tinus ahead of Kevsim, Robe in 3rd place. We're looking down the order, we can see that there's a move maybe being shaped up as Capri just made the move on Mary Louise. I'm not quite sure, it looked like there was a move being shaped up and maybe completed there into that corner, but there's the top 5 and there's the rest of them coming through the shot right now. You've got Capriglia, who seems to have made that move on Mary Louise, so he did get that move up into 9th place. But aside from that, the 17 cars all seem to be in good nick, apart from Glenn, who seems to have made a mistake, so I'm not sure what happened to Glenn there, but he's now 17 seconds off for the back of the pack. Everybody else is in a train at the moment as Ludo's trying to defend from Carl Marley. Carl Marley looking around the outside, he loses out there to G-Sanks, so G-Sanks managing to recover a position here, although has he, because Carl Marley's going to have the inside for turn 2 and he's going to hold on to that one just about there. Or has he? No, actually. No, G-Sanks has got it done, sorry. So I'm looking at the wrong bit there. So yeah, G-Sanks there gets himself up to P5 there and is now slotting in between Ludo and Carl Marley for the time being. But Tinus leading by about half a second. Kevsim's keeping with him at the moment, to be fair. Tinus hasn't just got up and left him here. You can see Kevsim's keeping him on his toes for the time being. Robe still in 3rd with Ludo, who's got heavy pressure from G-Sanks. Carl Marley, high grade, and Andrew on the back of this train as well. Bit of a gap back to Caprilia and Mary Louise. You've got Epiphany there running in 11th place. Raki has got a train of cars behind him. Snoopy and Lol 3000. Lol 3000 is trying to make a move here on Snoopy as they come down towards the second chicane. He's going to go for a lunge up the inside. Thinks better of it. He's too far back at the moment. As that was the Porsche there in the foreground going a bit deep. That was Epiphany there, who wasn't looking in great shape through that part of the track, but holding it together right now. And very clean racing here in the first couple of laps here at Zolder for the tier 1s tonight, and not like we expect anything else here from these guys. Obviously these guys are the best of the best here on the PlayStation 5 platform. But we've got Tinus here coming out of the final corner, about to complete lap 2 of the race. You've got Kevsim within a second of him at the moment as they're coming over the line. There's Robe in 3rd place ahead of Ludo at the moment, and then there's G-Sanks there in the background, who's currently just behind Ludo with Carl Marley as well. So a big train of cars here all the way from 4th down to 8th place. There's 5 cars in a line here right now, and Tinus and Kevsim here half a second apart at the moment. There's Robe running in 3rd place at this point. He's got about 2 seconds back to Ludo, who's got G-Sanks and Carl Marley with him at this point. And there's Caprilia and Mary Louise completing the top 10 right now. But there is Carl Marley, is it making a move? Carl Marley's made the move there, yeah, he's got himself ahead of G-Sanks. G-Sanks trying to come back at him into the second chicane, but Carl Marley's made that move brilliantly there, which is a surprise because obviously G-Sanks really had the pace in qualifying, but so far, after losing a load of places coming out of turn 4 on lap 1, he seems to just got himself into a bit of a rot. I don't think he got damaged because he didn't end up in the wall, but seems to have got himself mentally into a bit of a bad space. Needs to try and pull himself out of this here. Tinus in the meantime is being kept on his toes by Kevsim. Kevsim only 7 tenths behind him at the moment, so Kevsim driving an absolute cracker of a race here in 2nd place. Really impressed by him so far, keeping Tinus on the same page, not allowing him to ride off into the sunset with a potential race win here, not by any stretch of the imagination. Lol 3000 on the back of Giraki as they go through turn 1, but can't quite make the move at the moment. Raki's defending into turn 2. Raki obviously racing as a late standing reserve tonight. Messaged me about, well, must have been about 10 minutes before the start of qualifying, saying, can I jump in for tonight? What's the password? Well, in fact, he didn't ask me if I could jump in. He says, what's the password? And I gave him the password, which was a slight variation from the password that had been set throughout the course of the week. Not too dissimilar. I can't exactly say it on stream because we might get some lunatics jumping in to mess up the server, but yeah, basically the situation was that he probably could have guessed it, to be honest, but yeah, sent him the password, slight variation, and in he jumped, but yeah, about 10 minutes before the session started, so obviously he hasn't had much practice, but he's doing a good job nonetheless. P12 at the moment, he's keeping Lol 3000 at bay. He's a couple of seconds behind Epiphany, who's trying to skate away from this pack of cars right now. You've got Raki, Lol 3000, Snoopy trying to pull up onto the back of them, but he's actually got error code about a second behind him at the moment. Scooter Paul also on the back of this train as well. Glenn took the opportunity with his not great first lap to come into the pit, so he's now back out, having done his mandatory pit stop here, so he can now try and chase down the rest of them. Tynerson, Kevson 1.2 apart. There's Robe in third place. Ludo's got Carmali and G-Sanks right on the back of him here as they come through turn 1. And G-Sanks a little bit wide there onto the curb, but holding it together for the time being. There's Highgrade ahead of Andrew in the background. Capriga there running in 9th place. It's got Meridoise not too far behind him at the moment. Epiphany there running in 11th. There's Raki ahead of Lol 3000, followed by Snoopy. And you've got Error Codes, Scooter Report on the back of the train of cars. 16 drivers really in the lead pack essentially, because there's not a huge gap between them. I mean, I say lead pack, obviously there are gaps in there, but I think the only driver to have made a mistake so far is Glenn, and obviously he came into the pits at the end of the first lap, so we don't really know what the situation is with him, but we'll find out as the race goes on, obviously. Carl Marley seems to have been passed by G-Sanks, so G-Sanks is back up into P5 now, started to get himself together a little bit. Obviously got himself into a bit of a rut after his first lap mistake. He made a fantastic start actually, got around the outside of Tynus in the house into the lead around turn 1, got the inside to turn 2, made the move, led the first few corners, and then made a mistake going out of turn 4 and dropped down to 6th place. And since then has found himself struggling to get by Carl Marley, but in fact actually got ahead of him and then got passed by him again. So but he has now got back past him once again here. Now can he try and chase down Ludo and show the pace that we've seen in qualifying? That remains to be seen at the moment, but Tynus and Kevsim seem very evenly matched at this point. Kevsim must be a track specialist around Zolder. I'm sure that he knows a thing or two about how to get a pace around here, because he is flying tonight. Really impressed from him so far. And yeah, he's keeping Tynus on his toes. He's not allowing him to ride off into the sunset. Tynus in house, the reigning champion of this GT3 division here on Assetto Corsa Competizione here on the PlayStation 5 platform and Motive. Champion of the of the championship and the sprint league as well. Oh, it's Kevsim there, very wide, or not wide, sorry, very loose there coming out of the first chicane. Manages to hold on to it just about. Oh, Ludo there loses it coming out of the first chicane, spins out onto the grass, and he's going to lose places there to G-Sanks and Carl Marley. Highgrade and Andrew coming through there. So Ludo there losing a load of places. Where is he going to come out in all of this? Caprigi is now on the back of him here. So Caprigi, no, Caprigi has lost it going into the second chicane, bins it onto the grass there. Mary Louise there comes through. Caprigi there dropping a place. Oh wow, what has happened there to him? That's gone absolutely Pete Tong there for him. So Caprigi, where's he dropped down to? I think he's actually only in P10, so actually could be a lot worse to be fair. But Epiphany here in the meantime has got Raki all over him. Has Epiphany got ahead of Caprigi? I think he might have done. No, he hasn't, he's still behind. There's Caprigi in the foreground, there's Epiphany, so he's nowhere near. Raki's still on the back of him, you can see Lol 3000, Snoopy as well. They're gapping Error Code a little bit, who's running in P15 at this point. Scooter Paul does seem to be dropping off at the back of this train a little bit here, so struggling ever so slightly to keep up with this pack. But Epiphany leading this train of cars ahead of Raki now. As they come through turn 1 here on lap 7 of the race. Tynus though leading by just under 2 seconds ahead of Kevson. There's Robe running in 3rd place. He's got a few seconds back to G-Sanks and Carl Marley, who are still fighting it out over 4th place. And Ludo, what's happened to Ludo? Ludo's made a mistake because he has dropped down to 8th place. He was running in 4th, so Ludo must have dropped it somewhere. I'm not quite sure where. He hasn't got any damage on the car, so it must have obviously been a spin or a little mistake, maybe run wide or something, but obviously he's managed to keep it out of the wall, so that's going to be a positive for him. But nonetheless, a frustrating situation there for him. G-Sag's still struggling to shake off the challenge of Carl Marley's obviously been in the back of him for quite a few laps. Caprigia's still got Epiphany on the back of him here as they're going down towards the first chicane. Again, the cameraman just doesn't pick it up. You click on it and it takes about 4 seconds to actually catch up. But Caprigia seems to be being caught by this battle here. Epiphany and Raki and Snoopy all seem to be closing in on Caprigia at this point. I'm not sure if he's starting to struggle a little bit. We saw him make a mistake coming through the long left-hander that he just came through on this lap, which leads into the second chicane. I wonder if maybe he hit the wall, or because I know it was quite a big slide that he had. I think he did tag the wall. It could have maybe given him a bit of damage on the car, but maybe affecting his performance ever so slightly at this point. Andrew right on the back of High Grade here as they're coming over the line, about to complete lap 8 of the race, and Andrew's getting closer and closer. He's going to make a move here to the inside of High Grade. High Grade sees him coming on the inside. High Grade keeping it around the outside for the time being. No opportunity there for Andrew. Thought about it, but it was too far back, and High Grade had the momentum around the outside anyway. But just a little taster there as Andrew testing the limits. Carl Marley's still keeping G-Sanks on his toes right now in that battle for 4th and 5th places. Caprigia has really got Epiphany and Raki pulling up onto the back of him here, and Snoopy as well. This battle for P10 is going to be a 4-way battle quite soon as well. Lol 2000 is a couple of seconds behind them in 14th place. Scooter Paul not massively far behind them in P15 as error code into the pits here at the end of lap 8. So an early pit stop here for him. That's going to be an unscheduled one, I would have thought. So noticing here that Kevsim's closing in on Tynus. He's, I think that's only 1.3 between those two. It was best part of 2 seconds a couple of laps ago. So bit by bit, Kevsim is actually faster than Tynus. But then Kevsim could be half tanking it, Tynus could be full tanking it. We don't know what the strategy is at this point. We'll just have to wait and see. Error Code's got a stop-go penalty here for speeding in the pit lane. So that has gone completely and utterly a nightmare there for him. And yeah, that's going to be a real ball ache there for him, I tell you. High Grade's still ahead of Andrew as they're coming over the line to complete that 9 of the race. You can see there just about 0.3 of a second, but Andrew not as close as he was on the previous lap, and still going to have to continue to wait a little bit longer here. Caprigia, Epiphany, Raki and Snoopy there coming into your shot into turn 1. They're about a second clear of Lol 3000, who's there in P14. Scooter Paul there, P15 at the moment. Oh, Andrew gets it all wrong. He was on the back of High Grade there. He spinned it coming in through the second chicane, and that's going to be Ludo around the outside of him up into 7th place. Ludo says, "Thank you very much, Andrew. I will pick up the position and continue on my way." But Andrew, there, unfortunately for him, just overcooked it on the entry to the second chicane and was committed by the second part. I think maybe probably some drivers, a lot of drivers would have probably cut the second part of the chicane there, but he really suffered for doing the honourable thing. And he's coming into the pits as well here at the end of lap 10. So Andrew coming in for a relatively early pit stop here. I wouldn't have thought he picked up damage for that because he didn't hit the wall, but maybe I didn't see that right. Maybe he did skim the wall as he was coming through the second part of the second chicane. But Andrew nonetheless into the pits here. So yeah, I can't imagine he'll be half tanking it at this point. Tynus keeping the gap to Kevsim at around 1.5 seconds. Quite a consistent margin between those two. G-Sanks is now well ahead of Carl Marley. So what's happened to Carl Marley? Carl Marley's made a mistake. Carl Marley's dropped to 6th behind High Grade. There we go, look, High Grade up into P5. And Carl Marley now has got Ludo a couple of seconds behind him. So Carl Marley, didn't see where he did that, but it must have been through the first sector somewhere. And he's lost a few seconds here and a position to boot. No, sorry. Yeah, 1 position, yeah. Because he was behind G-Sanks before, although he was close, quite close behind him. Raki here has gone a bit DIY coming through the first chicane. He's flashing his lights as well. He's not happy about something there. Did Snoopy run him off the road? Lol 3000 is going to capitalise and moves through up into P12. So Raki not happy about something. Indignant flash of his lights there. He's clearly a bit frustrated there with something that went on in that exchange beforehand, but not 100% sure what that is at this point. But yeah, I imagine we'll probably find out after the race. Notes on the timer screen here that Carl Marley's closing up onto the back of high grade a little bit. Just under second separating now at this point, but Carl Marley, I think, just dropping off a bit through that sector there. Carl Marley is out of position, obviously, because he was running in P5, but he was 10 seconds up the road because he was right on the back of G-Sanks before he made his mistake. But maybe again, another situation where a driver has become a bit demoralised with making a mistake and losing a load of time and just sort of falling back. In the meantime, we've got Capriglia with Epiphany all over the back of him as they're coming into the final sector of the lap. They've got Lowell 3000 in the background. It looks like his livery. No, it wasn't. Sorry. Snoopy in the meantime, and Raki still battling over 11th and 12th in the background behind Capriglia and Epiphany. But there come those two over the line into turn one here on lap 14 of the race. Carl Marley, best part of a second behind high grade at this stage. Tynus gapping Kev Sim, just over 2 seconds now. Tynus starting to turn up the tempo a little bit here. Is Kev Sim on a half tank, and his advantage starting to wear off a little bit with the lighter fuel load. Now that Tynus is starting to burn through his fuel a little bit. Gap now 2.6, so it's going up. Tynus in the house, pumping in fastest laps of the race right now. Flying around Zolder here. At this stage in the race anyway, seems to have the upper hand considerably over Kev Sim. Capriglia here is coming under heavy pressure from Epiphany as we come into the second chicane, but holding on for the time being. In fact, what's happened here to high grade, because high grade's in the middle of these two, so high grade's dropped a few places here. He's down in 8th place now. Didn't see what happened to him there. Must have been through the first sector, I would have thought. And Highgate's got to watch out because he's now got Epiphany on the back of him here. But Capriglia up into 8th place. And now Capriglia's got a driver in between himself and Epiphany, which is going to help temporarily. Here we go then, Epiphany to the inside on Capriglia, makes the move. Gets himself up into P10 there. Sorry, P8 should I say. P8. No, P9. I don't know. Highgate's ahead of them again. What? Okay. Sorry, I looked away for a second and Highgate's now ahead of them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Oh, I don't know what's happening. Snoopy in the meantime looking to the inside of Capriglia into turn 4, but he's just too far away. Ratton over the curve a little bit there, but kept the momentum coming out onto the back straight. He's going to have a chance here coming into the first chicane. He's looking to the inside here, is Snoopy. He's going to send one down the inside as well here on Capriglia, and he gets it done. Great move there from Snoopy. Capriglia's got to watch out because now Racky's attacking on the back of him, so Capriglia getting into a bit of a rot here. Seems to be losing a few places here as Racky all over the back of him into the second chicane, but can't make the move there. Capriglia's holding on to this one at the moment. Racky still can't find a way through ahead of Capriglia. Capriglia's been holding him off quite nicely here for the last lap or so. Epiphany and Snoopy are still going at it for P9 in the foreground. These two are the only real battles going on at the moment, although saying that, G-Sanks is appearing to close in on the Robe. Looking at the battle between 3rd and 4th places, you can see there, that's now under a second between those two, so we'll keep half an eye on that one. But we're currently watching Epiphany and Snoopy as they're coming down towards the final chicane once again here. Oh, Tynus made a mistake here through the second chicane. Look at that, he took a bit too much into the first part of the chicane, and that's going to give Keston a bit of a run here as they're coming through into the final section of the lap here. 0.2 of a second between them. It was best part of 2 seconds. It's suddenly come down to almost nothing here. Tynus at one point, until, well, about a lap ago, was pulling away, but Keston now finds himself on the cusp of taking the race lead here. Again, not sure what the strategies are yet. Keston could be half tanking it, but then that will also pay dividends at the end of the race. But can he take the race lead here? Can he really take it to Tynus as we're coming towards the end of the first stint here? As Epiphany's still defending from Snoopy. In fact, Snoopy's got ahead of him, so Snoopy's up into 9th place as they're coming through the second chicane. Raki there rattling over that curb in the first part of the second chicane, but still on the back of Capriglia right now. But Snoopy there up into 9th place has made that move there on Epiphany. Let's go back to the battle here between Tynus and Kevsim, which is still going on. Half a second between the two leaders at the moment. G-Sanks is also on the back of Robe, so that's one to watch here for that final podium place. This is an up car there, the Audi. That's Lower 3000 moving aside. No, it's not. Sorry, Scooter Paul moving aside there for the leaders. The Snoopy and Racky making their way through unscathed there. No dramas. Good to see Scooter Paul adhering to those. Racky and Bethany obviously still yet to pit. Not sure if they'll still be battling over a top 10 spot by the time they've come in. Difficult to say at this point. Gap just 6/10 between Robe and G-Sanks, so G-Sanks continuing to pile this pressure on Robe at this stage. Been a really strong drive from him so far. Robe obviously being consistent, but G-Sanks here obviously led the first few corners, managed to get the jump around the outside of the tyres on that one, but then made that mistake coming out to the back straight, dropped from P1 down to P6. But since then got himself back into the race and is now battling over a net podium place. Well, he's actually going to be second and third, but I think Kevsin will have the pace over these guys to chase him down at the end. I get into the pits here, becomes the next driver to come in, so that now means that leaves now the top 7 to come in and make their mandatory pit stops, and then that'll be everyone in this field having done so. Watching Robo and G-Sanks here as they're just coming through turn 4. Here on lap 29 of this Tier 1 race here for the GT3 Championship at Motive round 2 tonight at Zolder for season 5. Which all these guys are just coming up on some more traffic here as well. I can see Carl Marley and Mary Louise, no, not Mary Louise, it's Carl Marley, and he's ahead of, who's he ahead of? Is it just Carl Marley? It might just be Carl Marley. Oh, yeah, it's Carl Marley. Carl Marley's behind, oh god, I don't even know. But here they come anyway, the leader's coming through. Not yet though, but Robo and G-Sanks there putting a lap on someone who isn't the driver behind Carl Marley. God knows who it is. God does know, but I don't. It's error code. Cool. Alright then. It's error code. Obviously you've got drivers that are 1 lap down, 2 laps down, it's just confusing at this point. G-Sanks though all over the back of Robe into turn 2. Looking to the outside but nothing doing just there. Robe still parking his car on the inside, still no gaps forming here. Exemplary defensive driving here from Robo, parking his car in exactly the right places, knows exactly what to do with his car. Ludo into the pits here, becomes the next driver to come into the pits. Now that just leaves 6 drivers to come in and make their mandatory stop. Everybody that's coming in now is doing a stop and go, they're not changing tyres, they're not playing with the fuel. That's it now. They have got everything they need, they just need to fulfill their mandatory obligation, which is to stop in the box and then drive off again. Kevsim in the meantime is arriving on the back of Andrew. This could get tasty because obviously Kevsim's going to have a lot more pace than Andrew being on his fresher tyres, but it is for position and they're both on the same strategy in the sense that neither of them has to pit again. As Ludo rejoins the track here. Just behind these two actually. So there he comes. There's Andrew and Kevsim, and there is Ludo. Oh no, Kevsim's lost it. Going out of the first chicane. Oh no, and he's facing the wrong way now as well. Oh, Kevsim gets it spun back around again. There's Ludo there moving through up into 8th place. Kevsim there's had an absolute mare. What has gone on there? So Kevsim there losing the place. Drops down to 9th place with Ludo there, moving up a position. But in the meantime, we've got Snoopy and Raki both coming into the pits at the end of lap 30, and actually we've lost the driver. So somebody has left the session here. What is going on here? Obviously, we had 17 drivers in the race. We now got 16. It's late in the race. I'm surprised that anybody's calling it a day at this point. It's Glenn. We've lost Glenn from the race, so he's retired from the session here, which is unfortunate to see. Obviously, with so little of the race to go as well, he might as well get himself back in if it's not a accident, not a accidental or whatever, or a disconnect or so on and so forth. Kevsim is obviously running 12 seconds behind Andrew now as well, with his mistake that we saw a couple of laps ago. Seems to be struggling now, so that's him out of the position for the race win. So Anderson House should be able to bring this one home for a comfortable win in the end, I think. He's got me 40 seconds. Oh, G Sanks has dropped it coming out of turn 1. G Sanks now losing the car. Wow, that's going to give Robe second place surely in this race on a plate. Robe's actually come in on this lap, but yeah, that is going to give G Sanks Robe is going to give Robe P2, and it's going to give G Sanks P3, unless G Sanks loses more time, but I don't think he will. But yeah, Robe into a net second place now, you feel. So Raki, after making his pit stop, has come out just on the back of Mary Louise here. Robe back out on the track. He's done his pit stop. He's now off and away again. Kevsim now riding on the back of Ludo. Obviously Kevsim was technically in with a shout out podium. I think he still might be as well, because he's got on those fresher tyres still, but they would probably lost a bit of grip down to his moment a couple of laps ago. That would have probably taken a bit of tread out of them, but he's currently trying to chase down Ludo here for P6. As I say, this could still be for the podium, because I think they'll jump Epiphany. So be for a net P5, and he's only about 5 seconds behind Andrew, who's running in 4th place. Robe in 5th, but those two also on worn tyres. Oh no, saying that, no, sorry, he's about 15 seconds behind him, sorry. Looking at the wrong graphic again, sorry guys, I do apologise. He's 15 seconds behind Andrew, and Robe's not going to catch them, sorry. Sorry, I just lied again. Yeah, so he's not going to catch them, but I don't know, he might get ahead of Ludo, could potentially be on for a P5, but I think actually, on reflection, probably the podium has gone out of the window here for Kevsim. I think maybe that ship has sailed there. Raki in the meantime, pressuring the back of Mary Louise as they're coming over the line here to start lap 34 of the race. Kevsim getting closer to the back of Ludo here as they come down towards the first chicane. He's going to try and go around the outside here is Kevsim. He goes straight on there though. Cuts the inside of the first chicane and ends up gaining an advantage from it. He must have not had enough track limits warnings to have pinged in there for a penalty. So Kevsim gains an advantage there by going straight on and gets to position as a result. It's not very sportsmanlike, but the game lets you do it. On Project Cars, that would have been a ping to return the position, but obviously ACC no such thing, and I think on F1 as well, that move would have been an instant instruction from the game to return that position. But yeah, on ACC, if you haven't hit your third warning or third strike, you get away with it scot-free. Epiphany in the meantime into the pits here at the end of lap 33. And Tynus and House just coming over the line to complete lap 34 of the race. So we are now coming towards the closing stages here, well into the final 10 minutes here at Motive for the tier 1s for the GT3 Championship here. And I think Tynus and House is going to be yet another win here. Did I say round 3? I meant round 2. Sorry, you know when you just like, you can almost hear your own voice replaying in your head? I just thought for a second that just didn't come out quite right. But yeah. Anyway. Mary Louise in the meantime running in P9 still ahead of Raki and Snoopy. And Raki's looking up the inside here of Snoopy. Can he make this move? He's side by side here. He does manage to squeeze his way through. Great move there from him. Raki's got ahead of Snoopy and Mary Louise. So Raki to help into P9. Superb driving there from him. Great stuff there. And they'll be loving that in the comments section. Raki good friends with some of the Game Tech UK boys. And yeah, Raki getting 2 places there. Ahead of Mary Louise and Snoopy. Andrew and Robbie battling out over the final podium place right now. Where's G Sank's going to come out of all this? Because obviously we saw his mistake a few laps ago. I think that would have given Robbie track position. So I reckon it'll be Andrew and Robbie battling it out over 2nd and 3rd. Kev Sims 11 seconds behind them on his fresh tyres, but 11 seconds is too much to make up in 5 laps. It's not happening. Not a chance in hell. So he'll miss out on that one. We might have 6 laps left actually, thinking about it. But even so, I don't think that's going to be enough. He'd have to lap about 2 seconds a lap quicker than Andrew and Rebo. I don't think that's going to happen. It's Tynus on the house. Tynus on the house? Tynus in the house here on lap 36. He's just coming down towards the second chicane once again. Just put a lap on one of the back markers there. Can't quite see who that is in the background there. I think it's Ferrari. I can see that. It's Ludo. So obviously Tynus still yet to pit. That's why he's lapping the driver in 6th place. He's not that dominant. He's pretty good, but not that good. Obviously once he comes into the pits he'll be about half a lap ahead of him instead of a lap ahead of him. G-Sank's also still yet to pit, running in 2nd place. I don't think he's going to hold on for 2nd though. I think that Andrew and Robe will move ahead of him. It could be close actually. Could be quite tight. It's a long pit lane here as well, that's the thing. So obviously you come into the pit lane coming through the final chicane and then you only exit it going through turn 2. So it is a very long pit lane. You do lose a lot of time in the pits, about a minute, even for a stop and go. I've learned that over the course of tonight. I'll try and remember that for the next time we're here. But G-Sanks at the moment is just putting a lap on somebody. That's Epiphany, I think it is. So yeah, here they come. And the blue flag's a bit waving there for Epiphany, and he moves well out of the way for G-Sanks, who says thank you mate as he comes through. I don't think he did that. I don't think he did say thank you mate, but that's the way I read it. But Andrew and Robbie still battling over 3rd and 4th places as they're coming through the chicane, 2nd chicane once again, but Robbie still can't put enough pressure on him at the moment to force him into a mistake. Robe almost tapping Andrew in the back there as he came into the final sector. See, just under 2/10 of a second between these two. They're coming down towards the bus stop now. Andrew will fancy his chances of keeping him behind him here because he's been parking it there for a few laps now. Robe's been trying to give everything he can, but can't seem to find a way through. These two, I reckon it's going to be a battle for second place as well, because I think that G-Sanks isn't far enough ahead of them. G-Sanks was right with Robe before and then obviously made a mistake a couple of laps ago. So I would imagine that's probably going to have dropped him behind Robe because they were tied at the hip before G-Sanks made that mistake. So logically, I think surely that Robe will be well clear of him. So I think this battle will be for P2 between these two, as Tynus in the house, the race leader, is coming in at the end of lap 38 with just 2 laps left to go here in this race. He's bringing it in at almost the last opportunity. G-Sank's coming in as well, so he's not going to wait until the very last lap. As there's Andrew and Robe right now coming out of the first chicane. G-Sanks now into the pit lane. As they're at Andrew and Robe. It's going to be close with G-Sanks and these two, I think. They might get him, they might not. G-Sanks will be in and out of the pit box very quickly here. He's not going to be hanging around. Hold on. Ah, there's his box. Andrew and Robe coming through the penultimate corner. Where's G-Sanks? He's in the box now. He should be off and away in a second, but it's a long pit exit as well. Andrew and Robe into the bus stop. G-Sanks is still in the box. He's off and away now. He was well over 10 seconds there. He was about 12-15 seconds there in the box. G-Sanks now out of the pit lane, but he's got around that first turn. Andrew and Robe here coming down towards the turn 1 at the moment. G-Sanks just rounding turn 1 in the pit lane still. Into turn 2 he goes. Andrew and Robe coming into turn 1. G-Sanks has done it, you know. I didn't think that was possible there. G-Sanks comes out just ahead of the lap car of Lowell 3000, and he comes out with about 5 seconds over these two. Wow. I didn't expect that. So Robe must have had a long pit stop, or something must have happened to him, because I saw G-Sanks making a mistake, or maybe Robe made a mistake as well and we just didn't see it. So G-Sanks getting lucky there, obviously, because I saw him make a mistake which I thought would have cost him P2, but it hasn't. And he's currently got nearly 7 seconds over Andrew and Robe, so he's got lucky here as G-Sanks. Epiphany just ahead of Mary Louise as Raki's into the pits on the final lap, so he's underfueled it. What a shame there for Raki. He was in a great position, a top 10. Obviously racing as a late stand-in tonight as well, but he didn't put enough fuel in the car and he's having to put it in just to get himself around the last couple of laps. How pointless it must feel, but how necessary it unfortunately is. Epiphany still ahead of Mary Louise at the moment in the battle for 8th and 9th places as they're going through turn 3 into turn 4. Andrew and Robe still battling it out over 3rd and 4th places. As into the final chicane they come. Tynus is on the final lap of the race leader's coming down the back straight towards this first chicane. Andrew and Robe here still fighting it out though. Can Robe put the pressure on and get himself onto the podium on this final lap of the race? Andrew defending the inside line into turn 1. He's going to park his car and make it as wide as he can. He's going to try and turn that Audi into a combine harvester for this final tour around Zolder here in this tier 1 race for the round 2 of the GT3 Championship here at Motive, season 5 here on the PS5. As he's looking to the inside here is Robe. He's trying to get a move done. He's trying to muscle his way through. Oh, is this contact? No, big contact there between the two of them, and Robe there just tagged him around a little bit. Andrew there is going to damage on the front of the car, I'm sure about that. I think Robe would have actually absorbed a lot of that impact as well. And these guys are going to limp round for this final lap. Kevsim isn't too far away here, so if they've got big damage, Kevsim might be able to get himself on the podium here. Andrew cuts the first chicane. As Kevsim is coming through the first chicane, there's an Audi that's trying to unlap itself as well in the midst of this. So chaos here on this final lap of the race. Andrew and Robe there coming together on the exit of turn 4. Andrew there completely mowing the lawn. Kevsim's now going to move through, and Kevsim's going to take P3 on the final lap, I think, here. Robe just keeping it around the outside. Andrew's lost the positions to them though, but here comes Kevsim. Can he capitalise on what's been a nightmare of a final lap for these two? Tynus has taken the win already. He's taken the checkered flag and he's won the race. G-Sanks coming up over to take 2nd place here here at Zolder, it's going to be Robe who's going to try and hold Kevsim off on the final few corners of this lap. Kevsim looking to the outside. Robe with damage on the car. Kevsim will have a better grip as Robe squeezing him to the edge of the track, and Kevsim's got nowhere to go, and I think that Robe should be able to help see this one out. Around the final corner they come, and up towards the line. It's going to be Robe to complete the podium here tonight. Just manages to hold on there from Kevsim. Kevsim over in 4th place, gained a position on the final lap, and Ludo manages to get ahead of Andrew as well. So Ludo 5th, Carl Marley over in 6th, with Andrew limping home in 7th with heavy damage. Capriga, Law 3000 and Scooter Paul have all finished the race a lap down in 11th, 12th and 13th places. Epiphany coming into the final chicane. He's just ahead of Mary Louise, and Epiphany will round the final corner here to take 8th place here tonight. As up towards the line he comes. So Epiphany 8th, Mary Louise 9th. High grade here through the final chicane. It's going to be P10 here for high grade. As up towards the line he comes. There he is. And error code will be the next over the line here in P14. And that's that for the finishers. So somebody's left the session already before we actually flick to the leaderboard. Raki has finished the race in the pits, so that will delay the race results screen, I think. But that's that, guys, for tonight. We're going to wait for the leaderboard screen to come up, just so we can use that for the stream, so we can use that for the results. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us once again. Apologies for my below par comps tonight. I made some big howlers and some huge errors over the course of this one. Yeah, don't really know what's up with me, but I think my mind's a bit all over the place. Yeah, I don't really know what to say other than sorry, no excuses. Yeah, but that's it anyway.